Welcome to One Perfect Enemy, a series in which I take a look at enemies from video games that I consider to be perfect just the way they are. This includes their overall design, as well as what they add to their game's atmosphere and lore. This episode is about... Creeper? Oh man! Yes, the Creeper. Arguably the face of Minecraft, even being part of the game's logo. And of course they are, because just look at them! It's such a unique and adorable design with the big eyes and kind of a frowning mouth. What is that expression even meant to be? And what material are they supposed to be made out of? Leaves? Grass? Certainly leaves a lot up to your imagination, which is why almost every fan of the Creeper interprets it in a different way. Even their body shape is interesting, though if not rather phallic. It's kind of humanoid, just lacking arms and having 4 feet instead of 2 legs. Fun fact, when creating the Creeper, the developers messed up the body proportions, resulting in the creation of the pig on accident. Trust me, that's true, don't look it up. But the Creeper doesn't really need any limbs to do damage, because they just spit on the player. No, of course they blow up. Huh, funny how 2 of the enemies I consider perfect use exploding themselves as a main attack. But just like the Headless Kamikaze, this forces the player to stay on their toes. Getting hit by an arrow is one thing, but experiencing what it's like to throw a bag of ice in a fryer right in front of your face is another. Yet unlike the Headless Kamikaze, the Creeper doesn't scream. In fact, they don't announce their presence at all, instead shuffling towards the player without making any noise other than their footsteps. And trust me, nothing is scarier than minding your own business in some random cave when suddenly hearing footsteps behind you seconds before being blown away by a giant ball of fire. And this explosion is also very important to the game's identity. Because what is Minecraft about? Mining and crafting. More specifically, creating structures. And what's the one thing you don't want when building something? That's right, having it be destroyed immediately afterwards. So an exploding creeper is genuinely a fate worse than death in Minecraft. Sure, you lose experience and a few items when you die, but at least your entire base doesn't get blown to bits. It's fascinating, they turned the kid kicking a sandcastle at the beach into an enemy. However, I feel this only adds to the creeper's qualities and the game itself. It's like yin and yang. With creation also comes destruction. And you can only appreciate your creation if put in context with the hard work that went into it, as well as how easy it is to take it apart again. As for fighting them, it's not even that difficult. You can use shields to survive their explosions, but what I like to do is sprint at them, hit them far away, and then move back to avoid them blowing up. Works like a charm every time. Of course, this wasn't possible in earlier versions of Minecraft, which is probably why they were a much bigger threat back then. But even these days, they can be quite dangerous. More than one is very tricky to take care of, and if they are bunched together with other enemies, you really have to prioritize them. And this is despite them taking a couple seconds to actually blow up. But even if my friend Alex hates them with a fiery passion, I just can't help but love the Creeper. They're just so iconic, adorable, and genuinely seem to understand the game's focus on building, instead of just being a generic zombie or skeleton. And for those reasons, they are, in my eyes, one perfect enemy. A close second for this spot that I considered was the Enderman. Maybe not quite as iconic as the Creeper, but still has a rather nice design. I'm in love with their purple eyes that shine bright even in darkness, making them scary, yet beautiful. But come on, they're just adorable! I love them! I remember when they first came out, which is when the internet was at the height of the Slenderman craze, hence their name. I recall this one video that was a fan-made demonstration of how they might function. I used to watch that one over and over because it genuinely portrayed them as a terrifying threat. These days, they're not even an enemy that I attack most of the time. I mean, why would I? They're just minding their own business until you look at them, which isn't even that easy. But I don't just like them because they look good, of course. No, I had considered them for this video because they too seem to understand the importance of creations in the game, or rather, destroying them. While creepers blow up everything in the path, Endermen instead pick everything up. Well, I say everything, but that's not quite true, and this is also why they're not quite as good as creepers. Because they only pick up certain natural blocks like dirt and gravel and such, not even stone, which is surprising. They used to be able to move all kinds of blocks, but this was later changed. Presumably because it was too annoying to have to constantly rebuild small sections of your house every time an Enderman pays it a visit. And I can see that because it used to annoy me too. So these days, they just fill your world with random gravel blocks here and there, which is still annoying but not quite as much. However, I really wish they leaned into this aspect harder. Imagine if they only moved blocks when enraged, but did so at an alarming rate. You couldn't even hide in your own house because they took it apart, brick by brick, tick by tick, no matter how thin, no matter how thick. Unfortunately, they don't, which is why they're not quite in the spot of being one perfect enemy just yet. I still love them though. Look at this one, which randomly decided to pick up a flower and move it around. Just a wonderful fella. Anyway, what do you think? Do you also consider the creeper to be perfect, or is there another enemy that you think should take their spot? Let me know in the comments below. And if you have ideas for enemies from other games you consider to be perfect, do tell me as well, because I'd love to hear. But for now, thank you very much for watching, have a wonderful day, and goodbye.